I got something to say. A message to the world, an urgent message to the world, that everybody, they need to hear this message. The most important thing that I could ever speak about. You must come to see what I see, and what I see, you will see soon. I want to do my best to make everyone click off this video. And if you're still here, then you've earned the right to hear this message. Because, I think it's a good message. A message from the gods. Hello? What? This cannot be. Oh, it's just my notes. Today we're going to be talking about taking refuge in the arms of God. If I had one message, it would be this one. Because there is so much noise in the world. There are so many ideas, so many thoughts, so many concepts, so many beliefs, so many ways of looking at things. But most of it's noise. Most of what we know is nothing but a distraction from the truth. Because thoughts are of mankind. Words, language, writings on paper, these are all temporary things that are directly relative to human beings. And human beings are a temporary phenomenon. But what is of the highest truth is eternal. That which is of God is eternal. And so people get so caught up in worshiping these false idols. They get so caught up in focusing their attention on nice words or nice thoughts or nice ideas. And so rather than giving their attention to God directly, they give their time and attention to things of a lesser nature. I'm not saying to go and burn your holy books. I'm saying every once in a while, put them down and go directly to God. Because no matter what you read, no matter what you think about, no matter what is being said to you from whoever kind of authority figure, at the end of it all, God is beyond all of these things. God is transcendent. Therefore, you will not find God in the noise of the temporary world. But sometimes we have to come to know what God is not to find what God is. There is a famous saying that warns not to identify the moon with the finger that is pointing at it. And what this means from my grand wisdom is that you don't want to mistake a concept for the actual thing. Another way of looking at it is that you don't want to mistake the map for the territory. You don't want to mistake God for an idea that you have about God. Because the mind cannot comprehend that which existed before there was any mind to experience. The mind only knows things of this world. It only knows thoughts and concepts and ideas. And the mind is always trying to latch on to things. But the only thing that the mind can do is create separation. That is its job. The mind takes our natural awareness and focuses it into attention, focused attention. Whereas you look at awareness as kind of a 360-degree spherical thing, spherical ball of light that sees all around, into a singular beam like a laser beam that can only focus on one thing at a time. That is the mind. And so no matter what the mind focuses on, it will always be in ignorance to everything that it's not focused on. It can only focus on one thing at a time, and therefore everything else becomes ignored. So if I build my identity around this or that religion or this or that belief, then my entire reality will always be filtered through that lens. And no matter what lens it's filtered through, the lens is always filtering. It's always preventing light from entering. As human beings, we can never see the whole truth, but we can only ever see from our unique perspective. But there is a path that you can take that allows you to see reality as it is, rather than how most people see things. They see reality as they are. One example that I like to use is that imagine there was a great big brick wall, and over the wall was a big white screen, and in front of the wall is a magnificent light that illuminates what is on the screen. And what is on the screen is life. It's our experience as we see it from our eyeballs. And because we're born in this particular body with this particular personality, we see the world in our particular way. There is a particular shadow in front or in between the wall and the light. And so the light casts a person-shaped shadow onto the world. That is the lens that is filtering the light. And so the way we see reality is always with a big person-shaped shadow covering everything, whatever that might look like. I don't know. And the way to see the truth more clearly is by dissolving that shadow, by merging the ego back into the self, by focusing our attention on consciousness, on awareness, and letting go of our attachments, and allowing reality to be as it is without judging it, without projecting our beliefs onto it, without, we get so caught up in the stories in our head, thinking that is the reality that we are experiencing. Well, it is the reality we are experiencing, but it's not reality. We are projecting our own inner reality onto an objective world. And then we claim that we are logical and that we see facts. Probably not. Whatever we focus our attention on, that is what we become one with. So for instance, when you are deeply in the present moment, when you are in a flow state, that is a state of no mind. That is a state where you will feel at your best. Because in that moment, you are one with the mind. Because you are one with the mind, you cannot experience separation. The reason that this state is when you will be at your best is because the mind is no longer engaged in separation. The mind has dissolved into oneness. The mind shuts off, and the light of consciousness can flow freely from the source to the experience in the present moment. So what we want to do by taking refuge in the arms of God, we focus all of our attention, all of our energy on God, on the light, on consciousness. This way, we can merge and become one with it. And when this happens, attachments begin falling away. The story in our head no longer has the same meaning as it used to. The problems that we experience no longer become problems or no longer remain problems. You enter into a state in which you can allow all experiences to arise without necessarily needing to judge or to project your beliefs on them or to be triggered. And I like to say most people are not truly living until they reach this state. Most people are playing life on demo mode. And in order to reach or to begin playing the full game, one must realize God and live their life from a place of stillness and unchanging awareness. Otherwise, experiences will continue to arise and fall, and you will attach your identity to them, and you will rise and fall. And people in this roller coaster of life, they tend to always get caught in struggling and scraping for these temporary and fleeting moments of pleasure and satisfaction. You might get a drop of happiness here, you might get some peace in a moment there, but you're always in this rat race of trying to find something. Most people probably don't even know what they're looking for. They struggle so hard for this kind of imaginary future thing that they want. And then they get the thing, but realize it didn't make them happy like they thought it would. Because when we want something, we suffer when we don't have it. Then when we get what we want, we suffer because what we want is changing, and we are changing. So what we want is slipping away from us, no matter what we do. And then we suffer when what we want leaves us. And then we suffer when we have what we don't want. When you become in tune with this inner harmony, this inner presence, this inner being, you get off that rat race, that roller coaster of life, that for a lot of people can cause motion sickness. You're just exhausted, you're tired, you're struggling, you're suffering. You've got the whole world on your back crushing you. It's like you're going through life with these boulders you're carrying. And so everything you do, you're dragging yourself through. Christ said, "For those who are burdened, come to me and I will give you rest." This is what that means. You want to discover that there is a safe space within you that protects you from all experiences. That no matter what happens, you will know with 100% certainty that you are safe, that you are secure. Because if you build your life, or if you act from a place that is unchanging, you have security, you have safety. God is that unchanging within you. But when you rely on the person, when you identify with the body or the mind, everything is always changing, and you will experience yourself as changing. You live a life of chaos. You live from a place that is not reliable. And therefore you just get pulled in any direction that life seems fit. But when you build the foundation of your life upon God, upon the unchanging, now you can play and have fun in the world. And you're not motivated by fear. You're not motivated by lack. You have all the abundance in the world because you have all that is. You cannot have fear in the presence of God. You cannot have doubt. It is an entirely different way of living your life that most people have never experienced. But you have that opportunity. So take refuge in the arms of God. Cut out all the noise. Remember that God is beyond words, beyond thoughts, beyond paper and concepts. God is found in silence, in stillness, in the unchanging. And to truly see the light of God, we have to quiet the mind and to stop feeding all of these unnecessary ideas and projections and judgments and beliefs about everything. Because no matter what we believe or no matter what we see, it is always limited. It is never the whole truth. But when we drop away all those ideas, the concepts, now we begin seeing reality from a holistic perspective. We begin seeing far more clearly. Because we've begun removing the lens that's filtering the light. And the more we can remove the lens, the more we allow our light to shine forth and illuminate the darkness.